Good evening to those who will listen. It is April 17th, 2018, 7:20 p.m. And here's some news from Israel from today. And then we will discuss what possibilities could happen tomorrow. So here's this first.
Thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras, here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. Yom HaZikaron, or Israel's Memorial Day, is officially beginning in the Holy Land, and the traditional flag-laying ceremony in honor of the IDF's fallen soldiers has just been held on Jerusalem's Mount Herzl. The Israeli Chief of Staff, Police Commissioner, and Shin Bet Director all gathered with bereaved families to remember those fallen. This marks the 12th year in a row that the IDF has been commemorating fallen soldiers by placing flags on each and every grave at Israel's military cemetery in Jerusalem. Each flag is decorated with a black ribbon and will remain in place until Israel's Day of Remembrance on May 4th. Israeli Memorial Day will be held starting at 6 p.m. this evening until tomorrow evening, with all businesses shutting down so that Israelis can participate in the dozens of memorial ceremonies that will be held throughout the country. This evening, Tel Aviv's central Kikar Rabin Plaza will hold a massive ceremony that should be attended by thousands, and this year English speakers in Israel will even be able to participate in an English language ceremony in Jerusalem called 70 Years of Remembrance. In somewhat related news, Iran is now threatening to retaliate against Israel for a raid on an Iranian base in Syria that killed 7 soldiers. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has responded, saying he's confident that the Jewish state could defend itself, and that, quote, "we are as powerful as we've ever been before," end quote. Though an unnamed source has claimed Israeli responsibility for the alleged raid, the IDF has not. Regardless, Iran is holding Israel responsible and threatening a military response as, quote, "a matter of when rather than if," end quote. The Iranian official added that, quote, "gone are the days when the Zionist regime would hit and run. The resistance forces in Syria can defend their territorial integrity and national sovereignty," end quote. That's why, despite Netanyahu's confidence, Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman is shoring up Israel's forces on the northern border. Lieberman said, quote, "we are facing a new reality. The Lebanese army in cooperation with Hezbollah, the Syrian army, the Shiite militias in Syria, and above them, Iran, all becoming a single front against the state of Israel," end quote. Not everyone in Israel is in the mood to celebrate tomorrow's Independence Day, as signs and decorations in Arab towns have been found vandalized or destroyed. In a separate incident, 3 young men in Jerusalem were arrested for burning Israeli flags. As the country prepares for Israel's 70th Independence Day, many Arab residents in Israel are expressing that they recognize Nakba Day, or the day of the catastrophe. In fact, one Israeli Arab resident, Jafar Farah, criticized that publishing Israeli Independence Day ads in Arab media was chutzpah and abuse of the victims of the Nakba. Arabs weren't the only ones taking frustrations out in the streets overnight, however. In apparent price tag attacks Tuesday night, anti-Arab hate was graffitied onto several walls in East Jerusalem and in the West Bank. Police report that in addition to deflated tires, the messages included "expel or kill" and "enough with administrative orders." Such acts of hate are condemned by Israeli leaders across the board, and an investigation into the incident has been opened. Further, human rights NGO Yesh Din added that the perpetrators must be dealt with severely before the criminals escalate and harm human life.
Yom HaZikaron, or Israeli Memorial Day, has officially commenced in the Holy Land, and the traditional flag-laying ceremony in honor of the IDF's fallen soldiers has just been held on Jerusalem's Mount Herzl. The Israeli Chief of Staff, Police Commissioner, and Shin...
Okay, so we know that yesterday, late last night, Israel launched more missiles on Syria, and 9 were intercepted. I never did find out how many actually hit their targets. And there's lots of news about this on YouTube. Now Israel is expecting retaliation from Iran in the coming days. So maybe this could be what happens on April 18th, which is tomorrow. I'm still not sure if anything's going to happen tomorrow. You know, that April 18th date was in the Morse code message from the SOS voicemail. And if you've watched some of my videos, you've seen that I had a coordinates set up. There was 3 points of coordinates which I triangulated into an area which included most of, or pretty much all of the Middle East. It extended from, actually, let me go ahead and put that map up for you, but it extended from Turkey, near Bulgaria, in the Black Sea, all the way down through Africa, through the Republic of Congo, and then all the way over to China in the Yushu province. And this is the coordinates that I did from those 3 coordinates from the SOS voicemail message. And it includes the Middle East and parts of Africa and parts of India, parts of China. And I know Afghanistan and some other countries, Pakistan, were also included in there. Now, I don't know if this is going to be an area where something happens on the 18th or something happens on a different day, or if it's just something else. It could be earthquakes in the area. Yesterday there was 5 earthquakes all in the Middle East area. They were just moderate. There was nothing severe about any of them. Or maybe there's going to be a nuclear war, and that's a danger area. Or maybe someone even suggested maybe it's a safe area. I don't think it would be a safe area, though. And I don't know, we don't know if anything's really going to happen. But there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen tomorrow. And I got a list of some of the things that are going to happen tomorrow. Not that this is going to be a major event or anything, but it could mean something. Iran is holding their Army Day tomorrow. Russia is their day of military glory tomorrow. And tomorrow is Israel's Independence Day. Now, I previously believed that the anniversary date was supposed to be May 14th, and then someone else, I've been hearing stuff about May 15th. But I know that Israel was recognized as a country. That might be what this date is tomorrow, April 18th, 1948 might have been when they were recognized. But they didn't actually have the country, I guess, until May 14th of 1948. So either way, we're approaching 70 years for a lot of things. They had their Memorial Day today, 70 years. And then tomorrow's supposed to be an Independence Day. And then May 4th is Remembrance Day for Israel. And then May 14th or May 15th is when they celebrate their independence. And then the United States Embassy is supposed to open also. And that's also the last few days of when the Palestinians are doing their march, their protest, the March of Land protests. So here's what else was supposed to happen. Iran tomorrow has their Army Day. Russia has Day of Military Glory. It's Dark Sky Week, whatever that means. Key resolve military drill between the United States and South Korea is tomorrow. China is doing a live fire drill tomorrow. There's a lot going on tomorrow. The chemical weapons inspectors are supposed to visit Syria tomorrow, where the chemical attack happened. But I've heard reports that they've already are there tonight. Fortnite, the game. Oops, sorry about that. The game Fortnite, in the game tomorrow, there's supposed to be an alien invasion in the game. We will see what happens with that. I'll have to keep my eye on that too. But all these could be distractions. I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff going on. NASA tomorrow is launching the TESS satellite, the Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite. Russia is launching Blagovest 12L military communications satellite. So there's quite a bit going on tomorrow. I don't know if it relates to anything that could happen tomorrow. There's a lot that could happen. A lot of people are expecting something of war, war-related from Syria or Israel, Russia, Iran, the United States, all these countries that are involved. Also on April 4th, Russia, Turkey, and Iran formed an alliance, and that's the Gog Magog alliance, and that's the alliance that's supposed to try to attack Israel from the north. But maybe this might not be related to some war or something involving countries. And with all this chemical attacks and all this, I've heard so many reports that this chemical attack happened, and then lots of reports that it never did happen. Earlier today, Russia and Syrian troops stopped UN inspectors from visiting the attack site of the chemicals, but now supposedly they let them in. So were they cleaning up something to make sure that they didn't find anything? I don't know. So, but I'm thinking maybe it might be something different. And I'm thinking it might not be tomorrow. Everybody's expecting tomorrow something to happen, but what if something doesn't happen? People are going to be saying, "Oh, nothing happened," and go about their lives and not think anything's going to happen. But I'm thinking something's going to happen still, and maybe it might be related to something else, maybe earthquakes, maybe weather, or I'm leaning more towards something going out, like a power outage or communications, cell phones, maybe a computer attack. Maybe something from YouTube or Facebook. I'm just throwing some stuff out there, but it will be something big, but not huge, if that makes any sense. Something that'll happen big, that'll take, it'll be on the news and everybody will know about it, but not bad enough where it's going to stop things for, a long time. I think it's going to be something temporary. And maybe it could be something with the electromagnetic field. Supposedly, we just discovered that we have a second magnetic field around Earth. And, we've always thought we just had one. But maybe this second electromagnetic field that's surrounding Earth now, maybe that has to do with Planet X, or one of the Planet X planets in our system that's getting close, that's repelling it. If you try to put two magnets together, they repel each other. So they try to push away from each other. So maybe that's what's happening. Maybe one of these planets is getting close enough where it's causing this harm. There's been lots of die-offs of animals. There's this weird 1,400 sharks were reported near Canada and New York off the shores. They're all together, and they usually don't swim together in whatever you want to call it, pool. I don't know. Whatever they swim around in, not a school. That's a school of fish, but there's a bunch of sharks together, and they usually swim alone. But for some reason, they're all gathered together. And there's other animals, birds and turtles, that use the magnetic field to navigate to where they need to migrate to. So that everything's been out of whack, so maybe that explains that. And it could also explain all this severe weather we've been having. But we will see what happens tomorrow. If anything happens at all, I'm sure something will happen, but I mean something major, something big. I got a feeling it's going to happen in the days after. So, I don't know. That's just my prediction. I also had this weird thing happen to me when I was sleeping, and when I had that weird sudden tiredness come over me, and mobile came in my mind. I don't know if that means mobile devices, something with mobile devices, cell phones going out, or maybe T-Mobile. Maybe T-Mobile will go out. I don't know where the mobile came from, but just throwing it out there. So, I don't know. We will see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. God bless.